to prevent Donald Trump from doing this against other people. To me, it's a small price to pay. So I am going to do whatever I can personally to try to prevent these abuses in the future.
National Security Advisor John Bolton said yesterday more security clearances are under review because of a, quote, unprecedented number of leaks.
A manhunt in Tennessee is targeting 2 suspects who could be linked to a string of brazen murders and shootings in Nashville. 3 people have been killed during apparent robberies in the last 12 days. Jamie Sarantonio and Bartley Teal died in the latest attack. David Begnaud is at the scene of that double murder. David, good morning.
Nora, good morning. This is an important story that tourists and locals need to know about. We are in East Nashville. This is a trendy area, a hotspot for locals, and that is the Cobra Bar. Friday morning, 2 people who you just mentioned walked outside the bar. They headed up the street to a convenience store. It was about 3 a.m. On their way back, police say they were shot in the back corner of the parking lot where those flowers and that one candle is now. There are the 2 victims. Bartley, he died on his 33rd birthday. Police believe this surveillance image shows one of the alleged suspects standing next to a small black Chevrolet. Officials suspect that 2 men killed 30-year-old Jamie Sarantonio and 33-year-old Bartley Teal early Friday morning.
The 2 victims left the Cobra Bar at 3 a.m. They walked to a nearby convenience market to purchase snacks.
After buying the snacks, Sarantonio and Teal walked back to the bar parking lot, where they, along with another man and woman, were confronted by the alleged suspects.
Mr. Teal was told that it was a robbery. He reportedly said he had nothing to give. He was then fatally shot. A short time thereafter, Ms. Sarantino was shot.
According to police, the men dumped the victims' belongings in a remote alley.
Because of where these items were dumped, it is quite likely that these killers have some knowledge of this North Nashville area.
Police think that Friday's killings could be connected to a string of Nashville area shootings. Last week, 31-year-old Kendall Rice was shot and killed while he was walking to a bus stop. On August 8th, a 39-year-old woman was shot in the back while she was walking her dogs, and she's now paralyzed. She's the wife of a crew member for the band One Republic.
She is now in a wheelchair and going through multiple surgeries and has a long, long road to recovery.
Police have not connected any of the crimes. However, the victims, all of them, have similar stories. John, that woman who was walking her dog and shot, she apparently walking at midnight, sees a car pass her by, then that same car comes driving back by her, and that's when she gets shot.
Jeez. David, thanks. Lots of puzzle pieces there. A Colorado man accused of murdering his family is expected to be formally charged today. Police arrested 33-year-old Chris Watts last week on suspicion of killing his pregnant wife and 2 young daughters. Autopsies were completed, but officials have not revealed the cause of death or motive. Omar Villafranca is outside the Weld County Courthouse in Greeley, Colorado. Omar, good morning.
Good morning. Chris Watts is in jail, but formal murder charges are expected to be filed in court today. Now, his wife, Shanann Watts, was pregnant, and she was supposed to have a gender reveal party this past weekend, but instead her family is planning a funeral.
Hey, guys. So I'm here with my little munchkins. Hi.
For those who knew Shanann Watts and her daughters Bella and Celeste, the unanswered questions are almost as painful as the grief.
The hardest part about it all is when you're closer with the family, it's the why.
Chris Watts remains locked up in protective custody, accused of murdering his pregnant wife and 2 young daughters.
My daddy is a hero. He helped me grow up strong.
The girls' bodies were found on a property where their father worked, submerged for days in storage tanks filled with crude oil. Court documents filed by Watts' attorney suggest the girls may have been strangled. The defense asked the judge to take a DNA swab of the necks on the remains of the 2 children. The judge granted that motion, but denied a request for a defense expert to collect their own DNA samples from the hands and nails of the mother and children.
He's the best thing that has ever happened to me.
Shanann first met her husband after a mutual friend connected them on Facebook. Court documents showed the couple recently struggled with debt, filing for bankruptcy in 2015. Over the weekend, Shanann's brother took to Facebook, writing, "I've never been so mad, sad, enraged, hurt, heartbroken, lost, and shocked in all my life." The family's friends and neighbors are also still trying to come to grips with the tragedy.
It's too close to home. You know, I got a little girl here. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
Watts is due in court again tomorrow. The big question in this case is why, and we could learn that why today if the judge decides to unseal the affidavit. Nora?
Everyone asking that same question, Omar. Thank you. Dramatic video from a father and son fleeing a Montana wildfire shows